From a secluded island nation to one of the most powerful empires in the modern world, Japan's transformation was rapid, calculated, and extraordinary. In less than a century, it went from feudal isolation to industrial might, from samurai to soldiers, and from the Meiji throne to the ashes of Hiroshima. This is the rise of Imperial Japan. Before 1853, Japan was ruled by the Tokugawa shogunate, a feudal military government that kept the country isolated for over 200 years. Foreign trade was banned, Christianity was outlawed, and only a few Dutch and Chinese merchants were allowed limited contact through the port of Nagasaki. This policy, known as Sakoku, preserved Japanese traditions, but left the nation technologically behind as the rest of the world entered the industrial age. In 1853, American warships under Commodore Matthew Perry arrived in Edo Bay, demanding Japan open its ports to trade. The sight of black ships powered by steam terrified Japan's leaders. They realized that isolation could no longer protect them. The following year, Japan signed the Treaty of Kanagawa, ending centuries of seclusion. Western powers soon followed, forcing unequal treaties upon Japan similar to what China had endured after the Opium Wars. For many Japanese, this humiliation became a call to action. In 1868, a group of reformist samurai overthrew the Tokugawa shogunate and restored power to the emperor, marking the beginning of the Meiji era. Their goal was clear: modernize Japan or risk colonization. Under Emperor Meiji, Japan rapidly adopted Western technology, education, and military organization. Railways were built, factories rose, and the samurai class was abolished. A new constitution and parliament were introduced, and the nation industrialized at lightning speed. In just a few decades, Japan transformed from a feudal society into a modern state capable of rivaling the West. With modernization came ambition. Japan sought resources and recognition as an equal among world powers. Its first opportunity came in 1894 with the First Sino-Japanese War against China. The victory shocked the world. Japan defeated the once mighty Qing Empire, gaining control of Taiwan and influence over Korea. 10 years later, Japan challenged another giant, the Russian Empire. In the Russo-Japanese War of 1904–1905, Japan's navy crushed the Russian fleet. For the first time, an Asian nation had defeated a major European power. Japan had arrived on the world stage. By the 1910s, Japan had annexed Korea and extended its influence across the Pacific. During World War I, Japan joined the Allies, seizing German colonies in Asia and the Pacific. When the war ended, Japan gained even more territory under the League of Nations. But Japan's ambitions did not stop there. Industrial growth demanded raw materials, coal, iron, oil, resources. Japan lacked. Many leaders saw expansion as essential for survival. The 1920s brought social change and global tension. Economic struggles and the Great Depression hit Japan hard. Nationalists and military officers gained power, arguing that democracy had failed. They believed Japan's destiny was to dominate Asia and secure its place as a world leader. In 1931, Japan invaded Manchuria, claiming it was liberating the region from chaos. In reality, it was the beginning of imperial conquest. The League of Nations condemned the invasion, but Japan simply withdrew from the organization, signaling its defiance of international order. In 1937, Japan launched a full-scale invasion of China. Cities like Shanghai and Nanjing were devastated. The war was brutal, with atrocities such as the Nanjing Massacre shocking the world. Yet Japan's leaders continued to push forward, envisioning a greater East Asia co-prosperity sphere. A vast empire under Japanese control. By 1941, Japan occupied much of East Asia, including parts of Southeast Asia and the Pacific. Its power seemed unstoppable, but the United States was watching closely. After years of expansion, Japan's ambitions collided with Western interests. The United States imposed oil embargoes, threatening Japan's survival. Rather than retreat, Japan struck first. On December 7, 1941, Japanese planes attacked Pearl Harbor, launching the Pacific War. The assault brought the United States into World War II, and the conflict in Asia exploded into a global war. At first, Japan advanced rapidly across the Pacific, from the Philippines to Indonesia. But by 1943, the tide began to turn. As Allied forces pushed back, Japan's cities were bombed, its navy destroyed, and its people exhausted. Yet the military refused to surrender. In August 1945, the United States dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Days later, Emperor Hirohito announced Japan's surrender. The empire had fallen, ending one of history's most astonishing and devastating rises to power. The rise of Imperial Japan changed Asia and the world forever. It demonstrated the power of modernization, but also the dangers of unchecked militarism and nationalism. Post-war Japan would rebuild into a peaceful democracy, becoming one of the world's leading economies. Yet the legacy of its empire, the wars, the colonization, the suffering remains deeply felt across Asia, from isolation to empire, and from empire to ashes. Japan's story is a reminder of how ambition, innovation, and pride can both build and destroy nations.